Rest in peace, the manual hot hatchback from Volkswagen. The GTI and Golf R are no longer going to be sold in manual transmission mode in the United States or Canada. Now, of course, this puts an end to an era really for that. It's going to be an automatic going forward. But why is this? Why has this happened? Well, there's a few reasons. There's not one single cause of it. There's a few reasons why this has happened, and I'm going to go through them in this video for you guys. So, hot hatchbacks are very popular, at least they were very popular back in the day, but unfortunately these days not so much. The lack of sales and the increased cost of actually producing these cars as well has reduced the profit margins for Volkswagen, and unfortunately justifying making a manual transmission car in 2025 when of course manual transmissions are becoming less and less popular. Automatics are ever more popular, especially in North America as well, but even in Europe, for example, we're seeing a lot more automatic these days too. Electric vehicles on top of that as well are all automatic too, so manuals in general are on the decline. And this all comes despite seeing a healthy increase in sales overall for the GTI and the Golf R from Volkswagen at the end of 2024. But that was still a very small portion of sales over in the United States for Volkswagen. These two models combined sold just over 15,000 units in the US, and that made up around 4% of the brand's total sales in America. Now, for the actual body type of car, they don't sell that poorly really compared to their relative compatriots, if you will, in that kind of regard. For example, the Toyota 86 and the Mazda Miata, if you combine the sales for both of those cars in the US, they still don't sell as well as the Golf or the GTI. But compared to the rest of their kind of portfolio for VW, it's not really that big. Like I said, 4% overall compared to 96% for everything else. So it's not really a top priority for VW. And I mentioned costs earlier on going into this video. The development cost of these cars has skyrocketed relatively in recent times, meaning the overall price of these have had to increase as well. And that means that consumers are less likely to buy them because of the increased costs. This is something we see across the board. Everything's going up, everything's getting more expensive, particularly when it comes to cars, but the Golf and the GTI have been hit very hard by this. For example, the powertrain, the engine, it hasn't really changed that much over the last few years or so. The overall horsepower has remained just north of 300. And to increase this to make it a better car overall, that would have to get a lot more research and development time, a lot more R&D, and therefore the cost of developing the car would of course go up as a result. And that would all mean that regulations when it comes to emissions and stuff like that, that would make it tougher. The running costs of the car would go up as well for those that are wanting to buy it. And basically making a manual version instead of just an automatic version, the cost of that increases dramatically too if they were to do that. So overall, VW have basically decided to cut the cord and stop selling the manual version of these cars, which is a bit sad. I always love a manual car. I don't mind an automatic. I can drive an automatic. It's easy, but a manual's just cooler. A manual just feels nicer, especially for something like a hot hatchback as well. But unfortunately, that is not the case when it comes to this. So yeah, rest in peace. You will be very much missed, the manual hot hatchback from VW. But yeah, is this a sad day, guys? If you owned a Volkswagen Golf or GTI, let us know your thoughts on them in the comments below. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. And yeah, see you soon for much more content just like this on the channel.